Hi everyone, my name's Chloe Hudson-Jones. Thank you so much for choosing to attend this session today. I really appreciate it and I hope you get something from it at the end of it. So we're going to be discussing contemporary issues in sport and how they can be explored and combated within education. So for the next slide, I'm not going to have my video on screen, but I thought it was important for you to kind of put a face to the voice, and then at the end of the session I'll add the video up. So I hope you enjoy. Please, I've got my Twitter and my LinkedIn accounts there. If you have any questions following the session, please don't hesitate to contact me. Okay, so before I begin the actual session, I think it's always important for kind of whoever's presenting to just give a little bit of an overview about themselves. And for me, it's my background, my professional background, my sporting background. So I'm a lover of all sports activities, and then it's a little joke there where I've said that except the ones that I'm not good at. And that's just because I'm super competitive. I've never been a good loser, and so I just don't take part in things that I'm not very good at. I'm a retired professional footballer. So I grew up playing for Wolves. I then moved to Leicester City, and then it was when the Women's Super League started, and I had my big move to Liverpool. And then, I was born in Warsaw, so I was undertaking my PGCE. So I spent about 2.5, 3 years at Liverpool, and then moved to Aston Villa. And then I got a really great opportunity to play at Åland United, which is a set of islands between kind of Sweden and Finland. And I played in the Naisten Liga, which is a professional league in Finland. And then I came back, finished my career at Aston Villa. I took about 3 months off when I retired, when I hit 30. I always wanted to kind of finish at my peak, and I didn't want to finish because I was forced due to injury or anything like that. So I chose to finish. My partner, we got a dog, so spending weekends walking, etc. So I had about 3 months off, and then really missed being involved in the game. So then I got involved at Stoke City, where I undertook my UEFA B coaching qualification, quickly became head coach and then technical director. And then kind of last season, I decided to kind of step down. I want to take a little bit of a step back, and I've then gone into football punditry, which I absolutely love. So I do that now, and that's kind of my sporting career. So at some point I might get back involved in coaching. I miss being a part, on the grass, as they say. But I also really love kind of the punditry, the commentating, really analysing games. And then my professional career, I qualified as a teacher for sport and physical education. And then I became lecturer of sport. So I delivered on level 2, level 3 H&C, H&D programs at college. I then moved into curriculum management, and then my current position is Director of Technology, Apprenticeships and Commercial at Stoke-on-Trent College. So it's a long title, but I'm campus director. So I've moved kind of out of sport for now. I'm obviously overseeing the STEM campus, which has been a real challenge for me, but I'm really enjoying it. It's something that I really have learnt about the trades, the different STEM curriculums, the different STEM kind of careers, and then apprenticeships, and then the commercial delivery across the college. So something that I'm thoroughly enjoying because I always enjoy a challenge. So before we talk about the contemporary issues in sport, I think this slide is really pivotal for me because, for me, physical education and sport has been the key for me and my success, because it's the wider skill development, it's the wider personal, development that is really key. And I think that really helps to shape an individual. I think when you're involved in it, when you're involved in sport, when you're involved in physical education, until you kind of step out of it, or you progress in your career, or you just take a step back to really reflect, then you look at these things and think, wow, gosh, I got all of these pretty much from being involved in sport and physical education. The self-discipline, being aspirational, motivation and attitude, application, always having that drive to do your best, being a decision maker, team building, positivity. So when even when things aren't going so well, it's having that solution focused mindset. Reduction of stress, absolutely. Willingness to learn, the leadership skills, that really tough, resilience, emotional intelligence, mental toughness, balancing act between the challenge and enjoyment, competitiveness and an ability to adapt to change. So, which is absolutely vital. And it's things that, within physical education, when we're delivering physical education, these are the things that, yes, we have a curriculum to deliver, but it's these wider things that are really, really vitally important. So the plan for this session, as we move on, we've had a little bit of, a warm up, and that was, to be honest, it's to get you thinking and to get you reflecting of how sport physical education has really kind of impacted on yourself, and how kind of you, work with your young people and your learners when you're working with them, and actually with your peers as well. So we've got two parts. Part one is focusing on contemporary issues and how they are embedded into the curriculum and across the school. Because it's not just about the curriculum, there's these really, really wider enhancement and embedding across school curriculums, enrichment, etc. And then we've got part two, developing knowledge, skills and behaviours that will develop young people to support them in their futures. I hope you enjoy both parts, and we've got some activities throughout, but I'll talk you through what to do, when to do the activities, etc. And then we've got a few Padlets in here as well. So we'll first start with part one, so contemporary issues and how they are embedded into the curriculum and across the school. So obviously all of this is based on research, but I really wanted to really bring it together and hone in on the hot topics. So as you can see here, we've got a range of hot topics, and they all relate to the contemporary issues in sport. For example, nutrition. There's loads of different things about nutrition, and and you look at social media and the impact that that's having, and all these diets, fasting, and you need to eat a certain percentage or grams of your proteins, your macros and your micros, etc. And then obviously it's related to that specific sport and the fuel that's required for that sport. And that's a forever changing due to all the research, and and then it's about having that balanced diet, so it's relating that. And then we've got gender, disability sport, PE in schools, so I'm focusing that on in the last summer, Lionesses winning in the Euros. The day after, they sent that open letter into our government, looking at the opportunities, the inclusivity and the hours for PE in schools, and that's really, really vital at the moment. And we know, again, the impact that can have and the benefits that can have on young people. Sexuality, so especially in male football, and potentially these sports that are seen as masculine sports, shall we say, and the fear of coming out and being your authentic self. And then it's looking at the stereotypes in other sports, whether it's male or female sports, and stereotyping sexualities against each sport. Inclusivity, giving opportunities to all, to either participate, excel in, become elite sports athletes. Media coverage, I've put there in brackets, not just the amount of it, because in the past it's looking at the amount of coverage that sports gets. Now it's kind of the quality of it, and the the different directions that the media coverage has, and how there's positivity and negativity that comes out of the media coverage. Technology and innovation, that's looking obviously the technology and innovation within specific sports. Whether it's you're looking at kind of VAR, you're looking at recovery technology, you're looking at on the training field technology, and really analysing that ethical behaviour and values in sport, and that's kind of participation and elite at the moment. There's a lot of research and articles about referees in football at grassroots level, and how they are treated. And then you look at kind of different things. So you look at kind of, in rugby, the way that they treat the referees and the officials compared to other sports, for example, in tennis, last year at Wimbledon, Obviously, you look at how some of the players treated the officials within that sport. Look at corruption in sport. That could be, leadership. It could be looking at illegal betting within sport. We look at leadership within sport, contemporary issue about the different coaches, the different governing bodies, and how obviously decisions are made. Funding. So it seems as though after every Olympics, after every kind of Commonwealth Games or worldwide big competition, the World Cup, the funding always changes. Whether that's for participation, whether that's for elite sport or specific sports, political and social responsibility in sport. And I'm talking there about how our elite athletes now have this kind of social responsibility, and how us as kind of within our communities having the social responsibility within sport, and really kind of investing in the local communities as well as the elite as well, and how that is linked now. For example, you look at the work that Marcus Rashford has done in the last few years, and actually using his platform to really have a real impact and benefit on local communities with regards to free school meals. But it's about using those platforms to have an impact elsewhere. Evolving occupations in sport. So for me, it's looking at kind of PE as the curriculum. And that's the starting point, but actually we have to work backwards. So we have to work from the occupations and the types of job roles that are current, and then the future trends, and work backwards from there. And our delivery has to really focus in on the potential progression routes for our learners, and the wide-ranging occupations in sport. The balancing act, participation and elitism. So within education, obviously within every class, we have got a real split of those that really want to participate, that have dreams of becoming really elite athletes. We've got those that aren't engaged, and we have to really, work with this group of learners to really engage them through different methods. And then we've got obviously another group that are interested but just want to participate, and it's all those three. None of them are negative. It's about really individualizing the education to meet their needs, and to really kind of get across the benefits of physical education. Okay, so we've got our first task, because what I wanted this session to be is engaging, collaborative, and for you guys to really kind of get into the detail, and to make it really individualized to your school, your learners. So to get some feedback and to really engage with each other. So I'll ask you to pause the screen in a little while. I'm just going to go through what I'm asking you to do, so I'll let you know when I need you to pause it. So access the Padlet wall via the QR code that's currently in the top right corner of your screen. If that doesn't work, then I've put the link at the top as well. So when you access the Padlet, there are two columns. The first column is describe what you or your school currently do to combat your selected contemporary issues. So I've put in red, do not include that you deliver a unit in PE, because I want to look at wider than this, wider than the learning outcomes. We're looking to really enhance their curriculum, enhance what they learn, the skills that they develop, the knowledge, and then it has to be completely relevant. So it could be something within a unit, but I don't want that being the terminology. I want what you do to be the terminology and the impact of this. And then the second one, describe what more you or your school could do to combat your selected contemporary issue. This doesn't just need to be within PE, it can be kind of things wider for the wider school if you wish. So an example could be, if I chose evolving occupations in sport, I would look at, okay, well, how do I, as a teacher or leader, ensure that the programme or the curriculum that we deliver to our PE or sports student, how do we ensure that it meets the needs of industry? And how do we know, as teachers or leaders, how do we understand the occupations within sport? So I would be, an example could be, well, okay, every year we update and we produce a progression map which shows the current occupations, and then from that it's kind of a little bit of a progress map to show the opportunities and pathways that learners can go, and that could be, it could be studying PE, it could be studying PE at A-level or BTEC sport, it could be going to HE, it could be an apprenticeship, it could be getting this specific work experience, and then to show the steps that learners will need to take to be able to get there, and to show our curriculum is mapped, the delivery is mapped to meet the needs of not just the knowledge but the skills and behaviours that are required to be able to undertake and to reach the aspirations of getting that desired job within that specific kind of pathway or industry. Another example could be looking at kind of disability sport. So, for example, within the delivery, within team sports, we include either specific disability sports. We look at the NGBs for that sport, and we give learners opportunities with regards to their work experience, going into different schools to deliver these sports, to really engage. It could be looking at, going into primary schools, doing kind of work experience at holiday camps, etc. Or it could be, delivery of, we have, I don't know, any game or activity, and then as part of the curriculum delivery, we task a group of students to adapt that sport or that activity to meet the needs of maybe 3 different case studies of learners where they have got kind of disabilities, and they have to be able to adapt the activity to meet their needs. So they're just some examples of what you can discuss, but I really want to, it's not just about what you currently do, but when you do discuss that, please tell me the impact of, okay, what you do, why, basically that shows why you do what you do. What's the impact? How does it enhance the curriculum? How does it develop really well-rounded people? And then when you're thinking about what more you could do, again, what could be the impact if you chose to do more? Because, we want to make sure that things that we do choose really have a positive impact and they are worthwhile. So I'll ask you now to pause this page, scan the QR code, and then add your detail onto the Padlet. Good luck. Thank you for doing that. I hope you found that beneficial. And again, this session is to really kind of ignite thoughts, ignite action, and to really kind of think about the impact of any changes or adaptations that are needed, or it's to confirm that what you're doing is the correct thing and it's having a great impact. And at the moment, we are doing everything that we can. So to finish off part 1, it's next steps. So it's not just about completing a Padlet and putting your ideas down. It's about doing something about it. So you've included what you currently do and can do more of in the future. So in the next week or so, I'm not putting a specific time limit on it or target date, etc. But it's something that I hope you can, take forward, because any CPD sessions, I want something to come out of it. So I want you to put some actions and timescales in place for yourself from the information that you have given on the Padlet. Remember, this isn't just about, the aim isn't to increase workload, it's about embedding into current practice. Or changing the practice. It's not kind of something and an add-on, because I know in the world of education, time, we need to be really super efficient at the time, but what we need to do is make sure what we do again has a real positive impact and it's beneficial. So think about things. Who do you need to speak to move it forward? What actions do you need to take? And then again, what positive impact will making these changes have on your current learners, on the future workforce, etc. So have a think about that. Okay, so we're moving on to part 2 now. So part 2 is about developing knowledge, skills and behaviours that will develop young people to support them in their futures. So first of all, we need to have a think about what are the key knowledge, skills and behaviours that you think should be developed in PE students and why? So again, thinking about progression, thinking about kind of developing them as, people, positive people and, really well-rounded people and that have good morals, in life and to really help them to have happy futures in life. So it would be great if you could spend five minutes or so just jotting down a little bit of a table, knowledge, skills and behaviours. So what you think are the key ones that need to be developed in PE students and why? Thank you for creating that table. Hopefully you found it beneficial to really split them across, and there might be some overlap of how some knowledge relate to the skills and how it leads to application and the behaviours required to really hone in on that skill. So the next step is, and as I've mentioned at the start of this video, of how PE and sport is the key for me. It's the subject, and I might be biased, but it is that subject that can develop really well-rounded and positive people that have a really great influence on others. So my next question is, do your KSBs relate to these? So these 7 points from undertaking research are kind of the 7 points that really show if you have all of these, generally, you have a happy and well-balanced life. So within the PE, obviously a lot of things are linked to this. So, positive relationships, pursuing dreams and goals, service to others. So having, again, giving back, paying it forward, good health, financial security, happy family and friends, and enjoyment. So what I want to do now is add the numbers of these 7 points next to your knowledge, skills and behaviours. Again, many will relate to multiple KSBs, but I hope that it helps you to really bring things together and really value, and it shows the importance of PE and sport in people's lives. And I think it's a lot of these we can really bring it into the classroom. We can bring them into the classroom. We can highlight them in the classroom, and by developing these KSBs, this links to X, Y, and Z of being able to service to others, especially looking at team sports. You're looking at coaching. You're looking at developing other people. Financial security, that we can look at sports management. We can look at kind of starting up our own businesses, and it's understanding the relationship. And definitely enjoyment. I think actually in life we need to do as many things as we can that we enjoy, but it's about actually having the willingness to try new things, having that kind of in the as part of your kind of skill set and behaviours, to have that willingness to do that. So if you can do that now, that'd be great. If you can pause this screen so you can really make that link. Thank you for doing that. Hopefully it really kind of ignited some thought processes and again some actions to take away from that section. So the next and final is a little bit of reflection time, and take as long as you want to do this. So what have you taken away from this session? I really hope that you've enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a taster, but it's a real passion of mine of the of the power of sport and physical education. Because I think we can all agree, taking part in this session, that it has really impacted us on our lives and our roles as educators, is to really have that impact, and for young learners and for even older learners to really understand the benefits and understand how it can impact them and their lives, rather than just trying to get the best grades that they can. It's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot more powerful than that. So I've got another Padlet. It's final Padlet. It would be great if you could, because the reason why I've done it as a Padlet is because you can access it again, because people undertaking this session, they might do it at different times in the day, so you can always go back to it. So there's kind of 4 sections, and it's kind of not column based this time. It's just asking for different comments against all these. So is there anything new that you will do? What will you do more or less of? So that's something that kind of you currently do, but you might think, okay, well, that's not overly impactful, or we need to do more of it to have a wider impact. What has today made you want to learn more about? So hopefully it has. Hopefully, again, this is just a bit of a taster. And then finally, do you and your school utilise the power of PE and sport to its full potential? If not, how can you influence and enhance this? Again, it's honestly not to increase workload, it's to work smart and it's to work efficiently, but to have the biggest amount of impact. Because I think that's really, really important. And finally, from me, it's thank you for listening and taking part in this session. I really, really appreciate it. I've included my Twitter handle and my LinkedIn profile name. Please feel free to contact, or if you want to give me any feedback, or I am very much in, me as a person, I always have the willingness to learn. I want to learn about different individuals, how individuals work. So please reach out and we can start that conversation, or I'm happy to come down to meet you in person another time. And then finally, it's good luck for the rest of this academic year. And please remember, you really are shaping the lives of young people. I know, the job's really hard at times, but actually, when you're in it, I really, really want you to take a step back sometimes and have that little bit of reflection time and realize the great impact that you are having on individuals, not just to get, the distinction stars and their A stars. That is important, but what's more important is you are really shaping these individuals to have successful and, more importantly, happy lives. Okay, thank you very much and take care.